Alright, welcome back to the channel, everybody. Today we're going over the first of two full path Necropolis Carina's challenges, and this is the 10-year Champions Challenge. And what I kind of want to do, this one's a bit different from the others because this is a full path, so you do, if you haven't 100% explored the Necropolis, you do have a chance here to take on a new path. Most videos I've seen have tended to be about the easy path, which is the path I took. But what I did actually, I really wanted to do a different path, so I tested a few out, and so I just want to point those out to you of the possibilities that you have based on the champions in the 10-year roster. So paths I would avoid are definitely path 2, starting with Mr. Fantastic. I'd avoid that whole section. Difficult when you get a champion up against the wall. There aren't many champions that are gonna, do non-contact attacks, and so you're gonna be taking the Thorn damage, plus that Atuma is not gonna be friendly. I would say to also avoid path 6, you could do it, it's just the mix-up with the mix-up node. Giving you reverse controls, just too much trouble and a lot of challenges along that path as well. So I would avoid 2 and 6. With path, obviously the easy path, path 1 with Titania, is definitely possible. You can pretty much use Wong the whole way. And then path 3 you can do. I'd probably bring Ironheart for different things. You want a champion that can beat out evade, so you could use someone like Black Cat to shut down abilities like that. And otherwise, path 3 might be tough, but definitely possible. I would say the best option you have if you're not going to do the easy path is going to be path 5, but there are definitely some requirements here. So you're going to want Wong, Sentry, Vox. You're probably going to need Hulkbuster for this power control fight, basically, with Silver Centurion. And then on the other half, if you go with the Elsa path, you're probably going to need, if your Chi-Ilth is duped, I'd recommend bringing her for this, because even though she can't bleed Sandman, she's going to build crits, right, as long as she's awakened. Or you could use Black Cat. Still going to be quite a difficult fight. I'm not saying any of these are going to be easy by any stretch of the imagination, but possible, and if that's a path you want to take, you can. Here's where you use Sentry, is for that Spidey Supreme. You're going to have some trouble with the Null and Shocker, but again, definitely possible. So I'd say path 5 is a pretty good option, and path 4 as well. You'll just need Hulkbuster to do power control for Jubilee. Vox is poison immune. Chi-Ilth would do the Abomination fight really well. Then same thing, Hulkbuster for power control, and then you can kind of pick your path on the second half based on kind of what I've mentioned. But just want to go through real quick now with the easy path. So path 1 starting with Titania, and then you're actually going to go to Apocalypse in the middle, and I'll explain why when I get there. But with Titania, Chi-Ilth or Black Cat would do really well. I brought Chi-Ilth, and she did fantastic throughout the fight, because with your grit buff on your special ones, you can counter any unstoppable that she brings up if she activates Haymaker, and otherwise you can just keep her pinned to the wall and start stacking up bleeds over time. Do some special 3s for the Vicious passive, and you'll be really stacking up some damage. Against Vision Arcus, this is where Wong already comes in. You want to start out with the green spell if he's awakened, or get to it as soon as you can so that you can regen more health based on energy damage, because the Cold Snap will do that. And so then you'll basically be pretty difficult to kill. It's just the special 3 to watch out for. Omega Sentinel, I used Wong as well. Same reason. You're going to be able to regen any kind of energy damage that she puts on you, which is the Incinerates from the auto blocks that will come up. Don't worry too much about the stun, because if you've got Limber Mastery activated, they'll just kind of fall off immediately and you can still block her next attack. Airwalker is another Wong fight. I'm sorry, I should bring up other champions, right? So with Omega Sentinel, you could also use Vox, as his Undermine will prevent unblockable, at least during the special attacks, but during your regular attacks, you could still take that auto block and get incinerated. So you might not be able to solo unless you got like a rank 3 or something. But Airwalker, a Wong fight, because you can get the unstoppable heavies, so if you need to, you can still get a knockdown in time. And otherwise, just remember to block the special ones, don't dex them. and you'll be just fine. For Captain Britain, if you do have Ironheart, Ironheart would be a fantastic option here. She's one of the reverse control immune champions within the 10-year roster, Wiccan being the other one. And so she would be useful here, and then you could also use her for the Grandmaster phase of reverse control. So that option definitely exists. Against Wiccan, you can use Wong again, or you could use Sentry or Ironheart, who's also immune to the Incinerate. But Wong, of course, just makes it so easy because you can just regain that health. Just keep, if you can, keep Wiccan to special 2s so he's not regenerating as much health. Then here with Psycho Man, you can use pretty much anybody. Again, it's really more of a nodes fight. Just wouldn't use a mutant if there is one. But Vox did really well here. Wong does great here. Moving on to the second half, guys. You're going to want to take the Apocalypse path, and that's because the lane node suits Wong so well. So if your Wong does need to be awakened for this, so that choice is yours. If your Wong's not awakened, or if you don't have Wong, you might want to pick a different path. Maybe the normal path with Guardian would be just fine. You're just going to want to use Vox a lot to get past the auto block. Actually, yeah, that would actually work perfectly, is bring Vox for that path. But then for the middle path, Wong will get you through, because if he's awakened, he nullifies indestructible buffs upon activation. As soon as there's any indestructible buff, he nullifies it. And then with that, because of the lane node, Wong's just going to gain a 30% Fury buff every single time they dash forward. So you're also going to be doing more damage. So he does really, really well here. He can do Apocalypse, Tigra, and Hercules. And then you can kind of just continue on through the whole path, either with Wong, or if you want to use Vox here to get past the auto block on the Captain Falcon, I'd go Wong for Dragon Man. You could use Sentry here too. You could use Photon here as well, if that's an option you've got. For Captain America Infinity War, you can definitely go Chioth or Black Cat. Will absolutely melt that guy. And then Wong for Nova as well. And then that takes you all the way to the Grandmaster. And pretty much from there, you can use whoever you'd like to get through the fight. I would recommend on your team bringing either Wiccan or Ironheart, or both, if that works out for you, just based on your roster, to deal with the reverse control immune sections like at the end. Otherwise, I will say if you're doing Wong for this whole thing, bring Wiccan because you get a synergy. So it lets your blessings last a little longer, just makes them easier to use. Otherwise, pretty easy challenge there. If you're wanting to do a new path, the ones I recommended would definitely work. So I'd say either path 4, starting with Red Goblin, or probably path 5 with Red Goblin, path 4 with Jubilee, and I would just go the Elsa route on the second half. And then if you're going to do path 3 with Sauron, I would still probably take the Apocalypse path on the second half just to keep it safe. But otherwise, guys, that's pretty much it for the 10-year challenge. You got any questions, team building tips, or strategies for fights that you'd like to know, please put them in the comments. I'm here to help you out. And if you've got anything else, best of luck in the Battle Realm, my friends.